welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be repotting 3 of my houseplants. They've got quite long roots on them, so I thought I'd better get it done before we get too far into the winter season. And yeah, thought we'd have a bit of a chat and show you how I repot. So the first one we're going to do today, guys, is this Draceana. Now, obviously you can see the pot's really small. Now this is still in the nursery pot and I've had it for about a year now, I reckon, or if not more. But as you can see, it's got new growth and things coming through, so it probably doesn't need to be repotted just yet. However, there are quite a lot of roots sort of building up in the centre section that I've noticed. And it did actually fall out of the pot the other day because the top's getting so heavy. So I thought it's best to just repot it now because there is a point where the top of the plant can just get so heavy that the whole thing topples over. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a repot and yeah, we'll just go from there. So the soil I'm going to use today, guys, is called, just here, it's called Houseplant Focus Repotting Mix. So this is specifically designed for potting plants, repotting plants. This one is peat-free, not on purpose, it's just the one that my garden centre had. I'm not going to 100% recommend this soil, it's not one that I've used a lot already, so I'm just giving it a try and we'll see how we get on, and I'll give you a review maybe in a few months' time and let you know what I think of it. However, it doesn't have any perlite or anything like that in it, so I have bought some perlite, which you can see here, also from my local garden centre. And I've just mixed the two together, so I'm just showing the soil there. Now I've used quite a perlite heavy mixture because the dumb-cane, they like to be moist, but they do need good drainage, and it is in my bathroom, so it does help to have that extra drainage. And the same with the peace lily there as well. So hopefully this will be a good soil mixture. You know, at the moment I'm still sort of learning really as I go along with this. So yeah, let's go for it. So I'm going to start, obviously, like I said, with repotting this one. So I'm just going to put, obviously you can see this pot is quite small compared to this one. So I am just going to pop some soil in the bottom. Now I would normally only go 2 sizes up. With the terracotta pots, I find that they go really narrow at the bottom. I don't know if anyone else finds that. So it does actually end up being only a few sizes bigger than the actual pots that they're coming from. So I did decide to go with this one mainly as well because I think it's just going to look nicer. So yeah, we'll go with that. So I'm just going to take this one out, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see this very well without me getting soil everywhere. It's got some nice big chunky roots there, and like I said, it did actually fall out of the pot a little while ago, so I'm hoping that that means that it is ready for this. Now I'm just going to very loosely break off some of this soil because obviously it's a completely different mixture to what I'm using, but I also don't want to ruin any roots here. And there are quite a lot of very fine roots, so I think I'm just going to do that and stop there. So let's just pop that in. So that's obviously probably going to be slightly too low, so just brush that soil over to one side. So I am actually going to pop tiny bit more in there. Right, so that's going to pop in there then, and then I'm just going to fill, sorry if you can't see very well, I'm trying to give you a decent view. Pop some soil in around there. Oh, I still think that needs to go up a little bit actually. Yeah, that's better. Now I am being careful not to cover up too much of the top of this, because obviously you want to leave the stem exposed so that it doesn't cause any rotting or anything like that. If too much of the stem is in the soil and it gets wet, then it can actually cause some rot. I do actually also like to leave a bit of space around the top of the pots, although it doesn't always work out that way when you're repotting. Just for watering and things like that, I just find it's a bit better. Fab, well that's looking much better. So let's just, I've just got some water here. It is actually filtered water. I try to use filtered water on my plants because we have quite hard water here. So I'm just going to pop that in there and hope that it doesn't run out the bottom. So this pot that I'm using today, it does actually have a very large hole right in the centre at the bottom there. So that will help with any drainage in it or anything. And I'll just sit it on a little saucer. I do bottom water most of my plants, but obviously when you've just repotted, you need to get all the soil wet. Just make sure there's no like air bubbles or anything left in there. Cool, so I'm going to say that that is repot number 1 complete. So as you can see, it's got a nice soil mixture in there. It's all quite solid. Just do a little rotation of the plant. So yeah, number 1 done. Right, so I'm just going to squeeze out, put that one up there out of the way. Apologies for being in my kitchen today, guys. This was the best place I felt to do it with enough space around me. Right then guys, so I'm going to crack on with my second plant now. So I'm going to go with this one here, which is my Dracaena, or my Diffenbachia, I think is how you pronounce it. I will pop the name of all of the plants that I'm showing you today up on the screen as I'm showing you, and in the comments as well for you. So this one here is what they call a leopard lily. So I don't know if you can see the sort of dotty pattern on there. It's so cool. I think it looks really pretty. It started to sag on some of the leaves a little bit. One, because it needs a bit of water, and obviously I've been letting it dry up a little bit due to watering it. And also it's been sat in a slightly shady spot in the bathroom, so I have just recently moved it as it's getting a bit close to winter now, so that it's in a bit of a sunnier spot. So I'm hoping it's going to sort of bring itself back to life. And I have actually just noticed that I've got a broken leaf there, which is really sad. So I'm just going to cut that off. Just there. It's just bending over, which just means it's going to end up rotting. That's such a shame. You never know. I always try everything. I'll try popping that into some water, but I don't think it's going to do anything. But as you can see, it's still got some new, if you can see like that one there. There's another one back here, some new growth coming through. So it is still enjoying its life. It's not completely dead, so that's great. So I've just got a little pot here, just a plastic pot that I'm going to put it into. I do have a cover pot for this one upstairs. So once I'm done, I'll give you a bit of a swirl once it's back in position up in the bathroom. So let's just take this out of the pot. Now I did actually already take it out of the pot to have a look at the roots, so that's why you can't see through the bottom of the pot there. But if I take it out, you can see just how root bound this has started to become. So that is definitely ready for a repot, and I didn't think that that was really going to hold off until the beginning of next year. So I really needed to get that done, so hence why I'm doing it now. We are in October now, so I try to get all of my repotting and everything done by October. And any cuttings that I've taken or anything like that, I also try and get potted by end of October, just to make sure that I'm not, well, you know, I don't want anything to die, and I don't have a lot of window space. So my window in my living room, the rabbits like to get up into and have a nice little snuggle. So I'm not, it's not very easy for me to put any plants up in there because they will just try and eat them. And obviously some plants can be quite dangerous to them as well. The only thing that they do seem to leave alone is a cactus that I've got up in the window there. So for some reason they seem to leave that one alone, probably because it's spiky and it will hurt them if they went near it. But yeah, so it's hard for me to move many of my plants closer to any light. So I've got my window sills obviously in here full up. I don't know if you can see from the side there, and also in my bedroom as well. So that's kind of the extent of my windowsill space really. I've even got one or two in my partner's son's bedroom, which, you know, I'm slowly getting him into plants, so it's all right, we're getting there. Right, so I'm getting soil absolutely everywhere. So with this one, I've just gone about one size up. With the pot, I didn't want to go too far up because, like I said, going into winter and everything, I just was really worried about shocking it. You know, it's not in the best of shapes as it is, and I just really don't like the thought of it going into any sort of shock. So now, See, this one here, I've ended up doing the soil a bit high, which is really annoying. But I think it'll be okay actually. Sometimes when the soil's a bit high, it's just really irritating when it comes to watering it. But as it's in the bathroom, it's not too much of an issue. I can just take it out and I tend to sort of set it in the sink. Cool, so that's that one done. So as you can tell, I didn't really pull much dirt away from the roots there because it's clearly happy in the soil that it's been in. I've had this one once again for over 6 months now. It's got at least a third of the size bigger. There's still new growth coming through. You know, the roots were so sort of formed around the dirt that I also didn't want to damage any of those. So that's kind of why I decided to do it that way. And just sort of fill it in really. And the perlite will still help, especially at the bottom and around the sides. So yeah, so I'll just show you that one there. Now the soil that I've just put in there actually feels a little bit moist, but I am just going to pop some water in there. Just to knock down any air bubbles or anything. Make sure I don't need any more soil. Doing a really good job today of not actually getting any water on the table. Normally it all runs out the bottom because I end up pouring too much in. Clearly really good at watering. Right, so just pop a little bit more soil over there just to cover up. There's just 2 roots there that are like right at the top, which isn't ideal. Just move those over. Right, cool. So I'm just going to pop that one to one side then, guys. So that is the Diffenbachia. So that one I'm going to try and put in a lighter spot now it's been repotted. They can survive in darker places, but they do like that lighter sort of area. So I will... oh, there's a new leaf come through there. So yeah, so I will do that, sort of move it into the window, I think, for just a few days, just where it's been repotted and everything. And go from there. Right, so last but not least, I'm going to go on to my peace lily. Now, it looks quite happy, apart from 1 or 2 sort of flowers here that are just dying off really, but that's fine. You know, we're going into winter and everything, so that's kind of expected. I am just going to cut those off today. That's that one there, and there's one here as well. Just because all it does is just drain the energy out of creating new leaves and things like that. And there are a couple of yellowing leaves at the bottom here. Now this actually sits in the window in my bathroom. Now let me know if you guys have a peace lily yourself and you are a perfectionist at looking after it, because as it stands so far it's been okay. And I have had some white flowers out of it. At the moment they're just staying green, and I don't know whether that's to do with the season or whether it's just getting a bit more unhappy. I don't really know. Now I know they can survive quite well in just water, so if it does start to die off and sort of look a bit more unhappy, see some of these leaves down here are really yellowy, then what I might do is transplant it into water and make a nice feature out of it that way in my window upstairs. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's just where it needs a new pot, because some of the, oh, there's another one there. Some of the roots on this are quite bound, so I'll show you that now actually. I mean, I don't know if you can see the bottom of the pot there, look, they're all coming out of the bottom there already. Now, I have got a pot that's just 1 size up, I think, 2 sizes up. It's pretty in purple, so I thought I'd go with that. It came from another one, another plant that I actually repotted a little while ago. And I thought it was quite a pretty pot, so I kept it. Now this is actually quite hard to get out because of the roots, which I thought might be the case. I've got a root there that's doubled round on itself. Wow, yeah, look at that. That's crazy. How big is that going to be in there? So there's so many roots in that it actually stands up on its own, which is crazy. Right, so let's just make sure, give this soil a nice stir. Make sure there's enough soil in there. Now this has got a little bit of sort of like barkiness to this soil, which is quite good. I'm hoping that might help a little bit, but I know that lilies quite like their moisture, hence why I have it in the bathroom actually. I'm hoping that some of that sort of humidity is going to help, because here in England we don't exactly get the best weather. Especially in the winter really for houseplants, but we'll see. So now this one's going to be a bit more difficult. I'm going to have to sort of pop it in and then really fill in around the sides. So filter it in around here. Right, this might take a little while. So for those of you that didn't know, might think about my comment that I mentioned earlier about the rabbits getting into the window. So I have 2 house rabbits who are very cute. They're called Lilo and Stitch. One of them was adopted and one of them was bought. More as company for my adopted one really. But yeah, so they're both, one's 8 months old and one's 6 months old. I was actually thinking about an animal for quite a while, and I did actually end up getting them during lockdown, which I know people were saying was a really bad idea to get an animal during lockdown. However, I just decided that for me it was the best time to get an animal, to sort of introduce it to the house, get used to having it around before sort of going back to work or anything. And you know what, I'm glad I did, because they are now 2 free roam house rabbits and they absolutely love their life. They are currently fast asleep behind the sofa. I'll insert a picture at the end for you of what they get up to snuggling away. I do occasionally post pictures on my feed on my Instagram page. For those of you that don't know, my Instagram handle is the Little Houseplant Life. So Little Houseplant Life. So if any of you want to check me out on Instagram, follow me, then go for it. It'd be really great to have you guys on board. And I will mention now as well, please don't forget to subscribe and click the big thumbs up button if you like my video today. It really does help us to know sort of what videos you like, what videos you don't like, by using the thumb up, thumb down symbols. And it really does help me progress with my channel as well, guys, if you subscribe, so I really do appreciate it. You know, I'm here because I love houseplants, and I know that a lot of you guys do too. And I've had a lot of inspiration, a lot of information from YouTube, where I've been trying to look after my houseplants myself. And, you know, it's just such a great community to sort of be a part of. So, yeah, it'd be really great for you guys to sort of get more involved. Right then, so I think that is about it. I think I've managed to sort of pop a load of soil in there. And I've made a huge mess everywhere. Right, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of water around there. Which probably will actually just help some of this soil sink down a little bit. Woo! See, I told you, I always manage to spill it somewhere. Right, cool. So there she is. Now I'm hoping that the reason why she was starting to look a bit sad was because, once again, she was quite root bound. I feel like I check my plants quite a lot and their roots and things, but sometimes you go up and check a plant and it's just, you know, it's got so many roots going through. And you feel like it's only been a few weeks since you checked it. But I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure that's probably been months and months with that one, because that was quite bad. But yeah, so let me just line up my 3 plants here for you guys. So thank you for coming along and doing some repotting with me today. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'll catch you in the next one.